I love the fact that you guys are such a enthusiastic congregation.
Is the microphone?
Yeah.
Are you on?
I'm not on
Okay,
yet.
we're going to test this microphone.
We're going to try that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yay.
I was saying, I'm just so glad that you are all such an enthusiastic audience. So I have one question for you this morning.
Sure.
I turned it off. Yeah. So my question is, how many of you woke up this morning and went, wow, what a great life that I live? All right, all right. So I am talking to the choir. I love it. So how many of you have ever had the experience of ow in your life? Okay. Physical, emotional, mental, whatever. Yes? Okay. So how many of you have ever felt that feeling of suffering? Yeah, the hand kind of goes up. Okay. Wonderful. And for those of you, wonderful, right? It's good. It's good. Because if you didn't suffer, you wouldn't know how great wow is, right? So how many of you who didn't raise your hand a little earlier about waking up this morning with wow, how many of you can remember a time in your life when there was a wow happening? Okay. So I want to give you my definition of wow. Wow is that feeling of wonder, right? But it's also a verb.
It's also what?
A verb. It's something that you can do. It's willingly observing wonder. That's what wow is. So if you can be willing, you can have wow in your life. So I'd like to have you just sort of think about the things that might be getting in your way right now. What's your pain? Because I know that not all of you have physical pain that you're dealing with, but you might have that little bit of suffering that you might still deal with on a daily basis or weekly or once a year when your relatives come over. Whatever works for you. And what I'd like you to know is that I am not a Pollyanna, everything is great all the time. I like to acknowledge that there is that ow in your life, but it's that willingness that makes it into that wow. I'm actually one of those people I would consider sort of an optimistic depressive. So I do work with people with chronic pain. So I live with chronic pain. My pain is much better now than right after the accident. I've learned a lot of how to deal with it. But has anybody here ever heard anybody say, well, you have this chronic pain, you're just going to have to learn to live with it? Yeah? Okay. You're just going to have to accept it. Yeah, thanks. Doesn't that just feel heavy? Well, one of the reasons why that feels heavy is because we get mixed up between acceptance and resignation.
Right.
Resignation is, it's always going to be like this, and I just kind of have to adjust. And this is just it. And, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is great. Okay, I accept it. No. You're resigning to it. Acceptance, I think, comes from a very active process. And I'm sure that I'm going to get lots of hands on this, but I really see that you guys are an audience that likes to participate. So, with your hands, how many have ever heard of that prayer, the Serenity Prayer? Right? Okay. I find this to be a great description of acceptance. So, I'm sure you all know it, but I'm just going to kind of go through it real quick. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, right? The courage to change the things that I can't, and to know the difference. Excellent, excellent. Well, I am slightly dyslexic, so I like to start from the end. And so what most people do is they are told that they have chronic pain and that they have to accept it, and they're in the middle of just like, but this ain't fun. This kind of, ow, right? What I that you have to kind of go from the end point of finding that wisdom, finding the things that you can change, and then accepting the things that maybe you can't. So, as Ruth said, I have 5 steps that I call 5 steps from out of wow. The first step is about awareness, becoming an expert on yourself. It's about self-empowerment. It's about understanding that you can trust your own experience. I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of clients tell me that they've had the experience of a doctor telling them, oh no, you shouldn't be having that reaction to that medication. Right? Okay, that laughter, you've heard it before, right? Or, no, you should be better by now. That's what I heard after my accident. It was like, my clock says you should be better. Things should be going okay by now. I guess I should refer you to someone else, right? So being able to develop that awareness for yourself and the understanding of that you're empowered to be able to say, yes, this is my experience. And particularly with pain, it is something that only you know what it feels like. As of right now, anyway, they can't hook you up to a machine and go, oh, yes, you have pain. Yes, and it's at this level, and yeah, But they don't have that yet. I don't know that they ever will, because it is a very complex, emotional, biological, sociological phenomenon that we live with pain. So that's the first step, becoming an expert. The second step is understanding your treatment options. So for people who maybe your ow isn't physical pain, it's about what can you do? What are the actions that you can take? And I kind of put them in three different areas. You have your active. What can you do yourself? Blake, not eat ice cream. That's my own personal one that I struggle with. Maybe exercising, doing those stretches, doing those things that you know that are good for you. Maybe getting the ice pack out, putting some ice on the back of your neck, putting your feet in the hot water when your migraine starts. Those kinds of things.
Repeat that one?
Hot water when migraine starts, foot in bath. It helps pull the blood out. You're welcome. We'll talk more about anything specific that you want to talk about after that. But yeah, so that's the active. Passive, knowing when you can't do something yourself. Knowing that there are things that somebody else can do for you. I used to be a massage therapist. I'm sorry, but I can do self-massage. It's just not the same. Not the same as getting on a table, relaxing. Well, when I was a massage therapist right after my accident, my business kind of went down. Partly because, I couldn't do so much, but partly when I did, and I went, ow, 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 ow. My clients were not having a good time with that. So, when you can find the right person to do the things for you, and not the person yelling ow in your ear as you're trying to relax. So that's the active or the passive part, and then there's the proactive. And that are things that you can do to help make the situation that you're dealing with less likely to be severe. So actually, I misspoke with the ice cream. The ice cream's actually proactive. If I don't eat the ice cream, I'm less likely to have pain, right? But if I do my exercises, when the pain is up, then that's an active thing. If I do my walking every day, that's proactive, right? So what can you be doing? What are the actions that you know? And I'm kind of all the above. I like buffets. I'll take one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this. I believe that allopathic medicine has a great answers for a lot of things. There are a lot of alternative energy healing, that can be really, really helpful. Psychology, all kinds of things that can be helpful. I think I'm a pragmatist. You just do whatever works. Right? The third step, you guys got this one down. Connection, community, asking for support, giving support. That's part of your values here in this congregation. So, enough said. The fourth step, what is the fourth step? Oh yeah, meaning and purpose. Working with something greater than yourself, something outside of yourself. I heard already talking about bringing your sorrows and your joys and sharing that, having that be larger than yourself. When you can pull yourself out, that makes a huge difference. In pain management stuff, many people will talk about distraction. Just distract yourself. No, it doesn't hurt. If you just, don't think about it. That works a little. But if you can distract yourself with something that has meaning, that is part of that part that helps you get to wonder. Music, right? Beauty. How many people here live by an ocean? You go on out and just look at the ocean. Right? That's bigger than you. It doesn't necessarily have to be this incredible, huge thing, although it can be. It's what is bigger than you, what brings purpose and meaning to you. My partner also lives with chronic pain, Rhiannon. She introduced herself. And one of the things that she's done in the last year and a half, I'm sharing about you, hope it's okay, is that for her retirement party, I got her and her friends got together and we put together a glass torch workshop. And she makes glass beads now. Now I cannot pull her out of there. And we've been together about 20 years, and I have never seen her this full of joy and wow. She has gotten back to her roots of being an artist. And, even if they were horrible, she would be having a heck of a time. But she's getting better. And so it's really, really wonderful to see that creativity. And sometimes it's the creativity of getting a coloring book and coloring it, right? It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to become Picasso. Those small things. And the fifth step is mindfully thriving in your life. And this is where people try and tell you, just accept it. So I go backwards, right? Yes, you need to accept it. There's the non-judgment of mindfulness. How many people here know what I mean by mindfulness? Yeah, okay. Ruth's your minister here. Ruth's a really good friend of mine. She actually did my ordination, so I figured you know what I was talking about. So mindful is being present in the moment. I truly believe, and this was my mantra during my Master's of Divinity, matter matters, right? We're spiritual, we're all that good stuff, but I'm really clear that we're here for a reason. We're in these bodies, as imperfect as they sometimes show up to be, or as wondrous. Imagine all the stuff that's happening in us that makes us alive in this moment, even if you're in pain. Even if, you're just having stuff going on inside of you. It's amazing. It's just amazing. All of these systems working together, how they heal themselves. So if nothing else, just go, I'm alive. How wonderful. Still alive. That can get you going. So those are the 5 steps. What else was I going to tell you today?
Meditate.
Meditating is a good thing. Yeah, mindfulness is an amazing thing. What I want to say, while standing straight up, I was kind of listing to the side. I think it's because I'm by the ocean. I'm just, getting a little seasick. The things that it takes to live a life of wow. It takes that willingness that I talked about. It takes courage. It takes know-how. When I had my accident in 2002, I had it down. I knew. I just graduated with my advanced new thought. Right? I had it known. I was a massage therapist. I had been teaching for years. I'd been practicing for years. I knew about the body. I worked over hundreds, if not 1,000 or so, clients who had been in car accidents. I knew how it was going to go. I was like that doctor. Oh, you're not better yet? I knew it was going to be fine. A year later, when I was all weepy, and my migraines were worse, and my back was killing me, my arm, and my leg, oh my hand. What wasn't working? What was going on? I had all this know-how. I don't know. I still don't know why. But it doesn't matter. I accept that for whatever reason in my life, I live with pain now. It's better. I've learned a lot. I've learned how to work with it. I know how to live with that wonder. I know how to be in that place of knowing that things aren't the perfect shiny thing, that I can still be willing to observe that wonder. So I'd like to invite you to just think about those things that are your ow, that can kind of pull you down. And what are those things that help you to connect with wonder? Is it beauty? Is it nature? Is it tea with your friend? Is it hanging out with your torch? Pulling out a coloring book? What helps you to really see wonder in your life? And I challenge you today to be willing to observe that. Whether it's talking to a friend, getting a hug after the service, going and seeing that big thing of water out there. And just be willing. And that will change you. That changes that ow to a wow. It really does. And I can tell you that, not as that person of, yeah, you should be better by now, but I've lived it. The accident happened on my way from my massage practice. I was going home. It was kind of a stormy, late December evening. I had just written my book, Path of Heart, Personal and Planetary Healing. And I was thinking, wow, I'm done with that. It took me 12 years from my first master's to finally write this book. I was like, oh, what am I going to do now? When all of a sudden, the car came right in front of me and there was my answer. It took me a while to figure out that that was the answer. And so now I work with people to really embody what I said in my first book. Darn it, I knew I shouldn't have written it. My definition of healing in my book, out of an accident, was recognizing wholeness that already exists. Not fixing things, not focusing on the ow, but bringing in that W and making it a wow. And boy, did I get a PhD in healing? I had a master's, but now I think I might have a PhD. So I'd be happy to talk with people afterwards. I have my Path of Heart book in the back if you're interested in my earlier work. I actually have just finished my new book called From Out to Wow, 5 Steps to Thriving with Pain. And if all things go right, it will be out in November. I love saying this, I have my meeting with my publisher on Tuesday. And they're going to tell me what I can do. So with that, I see my 20 minutes is up, and thank you all for this opportunity.